Hey legends, welcome along the Hellmouth Hotline. I am your host, Rodney Stewart, and we're getting into Angel in this episode. This is episode 11 of season 1, entitled, I hope I pronounce this properly, Somnambulist. Now, I've watched this series countless times at this point, and I never actually looked up what somnambulist actually means, so I just took a look for it online there, and apparently it's another word for sleepwalker. So yeah, I've learned something new for this episode. Tasty little episode, this one. Really did enjoy this. Here we get a lot more of Kit Lockley in this one, and she finally finds out Angel's secret of him being a vampire. Yes, this episode is one of these ones where it starts off and a girl's fleeing down the street from someone that's chasing her, obviously a big bad. Of course, whoever it is catches her, and while he's just before he kills her, he runs this metal claw down her cheek and carves a cross into it. And once he does that there, he bites her, drains her blood, vampire. Then the camera moves up and it's Angel. So he, at the same point, is woken from his sleep. This is a nightmare that he's had. Well, when I say nightmare, later in the episode he actually talks about having these dreams, and they're not nightmares because he enjoyed them. So as he awakes, you hear the sirens of police cars, and the same sirens turn up in the alleyway, find this girl dead, and Kate Lockley's there. She's examining the body and comments that it must be the same person. This is the third in a row. So next morning, Cordelia, of course, she's all business, trying to get prepared for customers coming into Angel Investigations, and she's practicing like the pitch that she's going to give people, and pretty much just rehearsing it to an empty chair. Wesley turns up with their mail, their post, whatever you want to call it, and he's inquiring if Angel and Cordelia have noticed any sinister goings on. At this point, he's still the rogue demon hunter in his mind, but he wants to be a part of the team, but he's not officially a member. They're kind of, he's there to, like, we could swap notes on our respective fronts and whatnot. Wesley notices that's something that seems familiar and frightening on the front page of the newspaper that was part of the post. It turns out the post he brought in for Cordelia and Angel was actually for the office next door. But he notices on the newspaper something that's made him freak out ever so slightly. So he politely excuses himself and leaves. Angel comes into the office. He's cranky about her, looking up for a license plate number. Cordelia suggests Angel try asking Kate Lockley, the policewoman, for a favour. Angel's not himself. He's not angry, but he's short-tempered. He's like a lack of sleep. He's not well rested and whatnot. He tries to leave by the front door to go see Kate, and accidentally steps out under the sunlight. So before he catches fire, he comes back and he's like, I'll take the sewers. So yeah, it's obvious to Cordelia at this point that something's just not firing on all cylinders with him. Angel goes to the police station and he talks to Kate Lockley, and he notices the crime scene photos that she has, which call up, these images from his dreams. We cut back to the office. That's cutting it down very short, and a lot of the sequence here. I want to talk about the episode, but I don't want to go beat for it, essentially. Like, there's a lot of stuff between him and Kate in this episode, and she obviously at this point still has an attraction to him. At this point, she doesn't know him, but him being a vampire and whatnot. If you want to know more about that, there you can check out some of the earlier episodes I've done on the series here. But she's into him, and whatnot. But he sees these photographs that are from the crime scene, and this brings up the images from the dreams that he's having. And we cut back to the office, and Wesley confronts Cordelia about the fact that the recent murders matches the MO that Angelus had back in the day. He would carve a cross into the left cheek of his victims before killing them. And Cordelia jumps to Angel's defense, and she's like, you can leave now, you're not going to come in here and accuse Angel of something. And at that point, Angel comes in and admits that it might be him. And he goes into the whole thing about he has got no memory of this happening. And Cordelia, again, when he does admit to Wesley's right and what he's saying, Cordelia's like, you stake him, I cut his head off. So Wesley pulls the cross on him at this point, and step back. But Angel's like, he grabs hold of Wesley and puts him under a hold. He's, I don't want to hurt you, but that's how quick I could take you if I really wanted to. So they're trying to work out what's going on here, because as Cordelia says too, it can't be Angel, because if he was sleepwalking and doing this in his sleep, as soon as he stepped out through the door, he'd burst into fire in the sunlight, and he sleeps during the day. But Wesley, being the voice of reason, says, unless this happens in the pre-dawn hours, and that's when these murders took place. So they come up with the idea of tying Angel up that night. He gets on his bed, they tie him down, chain him up, and they're going to wait to see what happens. And Cordelia cracks a joke, the glamorous LA lifestyle. I get to make the coffee and tie the boss to the bed. So that night, instead of dreaming about a current murder, he dreams about his past, and that's one of the elements of this show that I enjoy. I like Angel as a character. I've always had that thing for the hero having the dark past and whatnot, and it's really well done in Angel. And whenever they start cutting back to his early days, flashback sequences, builds more and more on the character, and the more we go through this season, and particularly season 2, you get a hell of a lot of it. I really do enjoy it, and it's also a great way in later seasons of bringing Spike and Drusilla back in for little cameos as well. But yes, he dreams about his past, and he wakes up in the morning. In the dream, you see the same type of murder happening way back in the day. And of course, we've already been told that this was Angelus's MO back then. And we see the dream, and Angelus is standing there, and he's like, there you go. Isn't that better now? At this point, he wakes up. Cordelia turns up with a newspaper. There's been a fresh murder while Angel's been tied to the bed, and she's like, it's great news, not so much for the dead person, but at least we now know that Angel didn't do it. To which he replies that he did do it, and he realises that the killer is this vampire that he turned back in the day. Brand new character for this episode, and he realises this vampire, Penn, he resolves to tell Kate, despite Wesley's objections. You can't just walk into a police precinct and say you've got intimate knowledge of these killings, and that the 200-year-old Puritan is responsible for it. But Angel goes to Kate talks to her in private, and he asks Kate if she trusts him, and gives her a sketch of the vampire's face and a clue about who and where will be the next strike. On his way out, he steals a police radio so he and Wesley can intercept Penn before the police can confront him. For some reason, I looked it up here, and I'm not sure if Penn's actually his proper name in the episode. We'll just say the bad vampire from here on. Yeah, Kit puts a task force together to find him, and they force him into an abandoned warehouse. Angel was correct. Where this guy could be at, they track him down before he gets a chance to kill his next victim. The police corner him in a warehouse, and Angel busts in the middle of it. Kit ends up face to face with him and shoots him 3 times. She thinks he's dead, but he gets up and attacks her. At this point, Angel pops in, and they have their conversation about, this is Angelus, how are you, sort of thing. As far as this guy's concerned, this is Angelus and not Angel. He's got no idea about him being the good guy now. They fight, and this first time, this is the way Kate finds out what Angel actually is when he changes the vamp mode and she sees his face, and he starts fighting with this guy, and it's a fairly supernatural fight in the way that they do it. It's not just punches and kicks, but there's a lot of like chucking each other through walls and stuff, and you grab somebody by the throat, and instead of just lifting them off the ground, they fly up together and bounce off the ceiling and back down again. So it's not a traditional physical fight. There's a bit of a supernatural element to it. So she is freaked out. After he escapes, Angel asks Kate to leave Penn to him because she does not know what she's dealing with. And, she said too that, I shot him and he just got up like nothing happened. And at this point, she pulls the gun and Angel puts it to his chest. If I pull this trigger, will you get up too? So Angel's like, I think you already know what the score is here. There's stuff that you've kept out of their police reports. The victims been drained of their blood and whatnot. So, we cut over to the Angel Investigations office, and of course Cordelia again has gone through this same pitch that she was practicing at the beginning of the episode. And as we turn to the seat that she's talking to this time, our little bad vampire is sitting there. So he starts asking all these questions about Angel, and he said there was a policewoman recommended him to come to Angel Investigations, for the truly human touch, come to Angel Investigations. So he's asking these questions, Cordelia's answering, and then realises that you're totally pumping me for information. So again, we've got an hour confrontation between Angel and this guy in the office. It's all big talk at this point. As before Angel was into the room, he's going to attack Cordelia, but she's smart enough at this point to open the blinds to the street and get the sunlight in there so she can hide across the room from him. So he's trapped on one side of the office in the doorway to the street, and Angel is on the other side of the office coming in from the inner office. So they're face to face, but they're separated by a beam of sunlight, so they can't actually fight each other at this point. And Angel's like, gets at him about, you're a cheesy hack sort of a thing. You've been doing the same routine for 200 years now. Change it up, be a bit more original. He's like goading him, And this guy's like, you know what? I think you're right. Like my act is getting a little bit stale. So at this point, Wesley comes in. He gets hold of him, has him in a headlock, and there's a bit more threatening between him and Angel. And before he leaves, just think of the worst thing that you can think possible, and I'll see you there, sort of thing. So he disappears off, and then we cut to this sequence of, you know, angels going through the city night by night looking for him. We see images of him sitting in his apartment or his hotel room, and he's making notes and plans. And then we see images of Kate and the police precinct there. She's sitting at home and she's researching vampires and whatnot. And she finally gets a knock at the door, and it's Angel. He's coming there to talk to her, but trying to stop this guy. And he's like, can I come in? And to which she replies, oh, of course, you need an invite to come in. And she goes into the whole thing about, angels. It's obvious you've been doing your homework. And she's like, quiz me, I know everything. She goes over this list of stuff. Your friend has been in LA twice before, a couple of dates over the last 100 years or whatever, and then there was something in Boston. I think he was there too. But then she had some with the sucker punch that she knows exactly who he is and who Angelus was. She heard the name Angelus and the fight between Angel and this guy a few nights beforehand. So she did her research, got everything on Angel, and particularly brutal bastard by all accounts. And she is like, stay out of my way. You're not getting an invite into my house. I know how to take care of this dude. Decapitation, holy water, stake through the heart. And after I get him, if I see you, you're going to be the next person to get it. So he's turned away from the door. They finally track him down to a hotel that he stayed in, through reports that they've been getting online. Victims here, the suspect got away, matches the MO over whatever dates. And Cordelia realizes that there's a photograph of the hotel in one article, and the next article there's another photograph of the same hotel with a little bit of a facelift, and there's a big time difference between that. So they reckon, okay, he's predictable. As usual, we'll go and check out that hotel now, see what's happening. So they get in there, they find like a shrine in the wall to all his victims, and then these photographs spread out on the table of high school bus routes. And he's leaving a trail for them to, he's going to attack all these school buses and kill children and whatnot. So Angel's like, he's finally changing up his act. So we cut over to the police station, and Lockley is now setting up another group of police officers to go after him, and she has printouts of the sketch Angel gave her earlier in the episode. So she's going through the whole list of orders and what we're going to have to do and whatnot. The next thing, this little voice from the back of the room pipes up, and he's like, this is a terrible likeness. Like, the mouth is all wrong, and it's the dude. He's there. He's in the police barracks, and he's coming for police barracks. That's a very Northern Ireland way of saying that. The police station. He's right in there. He's after Kate, and the trail that he's leaving towards school buses and children was something to throw Angel off the scent. So he beats his way through the policemen, grabs Kate, takes her out. We cut over to Angel and Wesley. They're turning up in the underground parking of the police station. They've got a police radio that he stole from a police car earlier on. They're listening to everything that's happening as they get in there. Police cars are going crazy, getting out of the parking bays, obviously to go out after Kate. They think this guy's off of her, but Angel opens one of the sewer covers, goes down into the sewers, of course. he sired this guy, so he has a sense of where he's at, and he finds him down there with Kate, and tells him, you really think I was going to fall for that? So they have a final head-on encounter where, Angel's like, you've been sticking it to your father for 200 years now. And the guy's like, you're 100% right. That's always been about sticking it to my father. But, I've come to realise, you made me jealous. You're my real father. And Angel cracks a joke, grabs him, throws him to the ground. He's like, okay then, you're grounded. And they fight back and forth. Kate's stuck in the centre of this here. She gets knocked down a few times, and then she pulls this 2x4. It's like at least 4 feet of a lump of wood, and at this point, Angel's on the back foot. This guy's got him turned around into he's got him in like a bear hug sort of thing. He's got his back, his chest is Angel's back, and Angel's trapped there. And Kate has this moment of, okay, I'm going to take these 2 guys out. And at the last moment, she drives this wood right through Angel. It comes out of his back and dusts the vampire, and he's gone. And Angel's like, you missed. And she's like, no, I didn't. So even though she threatened Angel that, the next time I see you, I'm going to take this guy out. Next time I see you, I'll do the same to you. She doesn't kill Angel. She lets him go. And that's pretty much it for the end of the episode. Like, we cut to the rooftop above Angel Investigations at the end of the episode, and he's sitting there having his little Batman moment, looking out over the city, brooding about things. And Cordelia turns up with another job from the powers that be for Angel, hands him a note or whatever it is, and he's talking about, this place is pretty similar to where I grew up. And she's like, yeah, I can see that apart from the cars and the buildings and everything else. But he's like, it's not that different. Everybody's going about their lives and whatnot. And he's having a wee deep moment to himself. And he's thinking about his past. And, it's something he's always going to be fighting with, trying to get away from. And she's like, people can change. And the powers that be sent me this vision and a mission. They sent it for Angel, not Angela. So they know the difference, and just be the person that you are, more or less. But Angel's like, you know what, sometimes people change back, and if that ever happens, Cordelia pipes up, well, don't you worry, I'll kill you stone dead. So we cut out the end of the episode. It's a great little finisher to it. Fantastic episode. This one here, I think out of season 1's probably one of my favourite episodes. There's a lot to like. Like, I can easily sit down with the box set of Angel. It's on Disney Plus as well now. If you haven't seen it before, I would highly recommend it. Like, I'm still finding it hard to believe that this was way back in the year 2000 this was aired. It seems like, I don't know, I'm 45, coming 45 now. At the start of the year, I'd be 45 years old. I still feel like I'm 18. Like, I really, I'm in the best physical condition of my life. I'm in better condition now than I was whenever I was 20. And mentally, 2000 just seems like a couple of years ago. So, yes, it's a show now. I do have to say, this show, in a lot of ways, has aged very, very well until the point where you start to see the early mobile phones being introduced to it. But storytelling, fantastic. Great episode. Sorry about that there. Every time I did this last night on a podcast for the science fiction show, I dropped my phone on the desk. Probably blew out your speakers. I do apologise for that. So please, if that annoyed the living piss out of you, let me know in the comments below. So yeah, that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please share it along, rate and review, all the good social media stuff. I love you forever. And contact the show directly via the email, hellmouthhotline@gmail.com. And until the next episode, whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing it safe, and I'll talk to you all then. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so much for listening.